What's going on, Clanyo? It is Eric Stanyo with Team Stanyo Live. Happy Sunday, late afternoon, evening, I guess we are. Super excited to have you in tonight. We are going to talk about happy things tonight because Cincinnati was named one of the happiest places to live in the United States. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to show you maybe a little bit why people are so happy in Cincinnati and talk through some of those things. Maybe compare it to your city. I would love to hear, are you happy where you're at? Are you happy in Cincinnati? We're going to talk about happiness a little bit tonight. We're going to talk about a little bit of news, and then we're going to dive into the real estate market as well and keep you guys updated. There's a lot of things going on. Interest rates are going up and up. And so what does that mean for the market? We're going to talk about that from a residential standpoint, a little bit of news, and that's it. So as always, thanks for hopping in here. Welcome in to Team Stanyo Live. Let us know in the chat where you're watching from, and are you happy where you live? That's the question for tonight. Do you like where you're living at? Are you happy there? Is it a good city to live in? Are you considering moving to Cincinnati? And if so, why? Well, we're going to talk about some of those things tonight. So let's jump right in. As always, in the chat, let us know where you're watching from. Love to interact with you guys. I had a very awesome, happy weekend myself. Before I jump into the news here, I had a great day yesterday. Yesterday is our rest day for our family. We call it our Sabbath, and we usually I make breakfast in the morning. That means mom gets to sleep in a little bit longer because she's getting up early all the rest of the days. Dad makes coffee and pancakes and bacon and eggs, and we have an awesome breakfast. Yesterday, instead of going crazy and doing something big, we just went to a local park. We went to Rossford Park in Fort Thomas, and I expected there to be like baseball, flag football, a lot of games. The park was like virtually empty. It was a perfect September morning. Got to walk around, just get the kids all their energy out from all that syrup and all the pancakes they ate. So they got to play. Mom and dad got to walk around, get some exercise, get some sunshine. It was an awesome time. I love September in Cincinnati. I did a video on the weather in Cincinnati, and by far September is my favorite month. I also love April and May. May is great. May and June. October is also really awesome as it starts to get cool. September can still be pretty warm. We've been in the 70s, high 70s and 80s this week, but you're starting to get those leaves churning, and usually the air is really, really clear. You've got a lot of great weather. Football season is upon us. So yeah, we really just enjoyed that. Then I had a date with my wife. We went out for dinner. We had childcare, so we went out, had dinner, and then we had there was a concert back in Fort Thomas, which was amazing. There were 3 bands from the 90s, so they were speaking my language. It was Tonic, Sister Hazel, and Vertical Horizon. So if you guys are of my generation and any of those bands ring a bell, it was like the Sister Hazel song was like, what is the one? All for you. Yeah. Finally, I figured out. It took a long, long time. That one. And then Vertical Horizon was like, they had like the #1 song in the nation for a while. It was like She's Everything You Want, I think is the title of the songs. Anyway, that was fun. I had a great day with my wife. Today we had church in the morning, and then we helped out at our property because we're having our big fall festival with our church, which is we celebrate the biblical holiday of Sukkot. So super excited about that. We were helping get the land together. And then we went down the street to Rhineland Lakes Country Club, where my friend invited us because his 3rd child was getting baptized in one of the lakes at Rhineland. So a bunch of family and friends were there as witnesses and celebrating his baptism. So it was just awesome day, super cool day. So I hope you had a great day too. Let's get into it right now and and share with you guys what makes Cincinnati so happy. So here's the article. Cincinnati was named one of the happiest places to live in the U.S., outshining other Ohio towns. So if you guys live here, are you happy? Tell us why. Leave a comment in the chat. Look at this guy. He's super happy. This was down at Oktoberfest, I think, is going to be my guess, last year. So are you searching for a happy place to live? Look no further than the Queen City. Outside Magazine, an outdoor adventure and travel publication, recently named Cincinnati among the happiest places to live in the United States in 2023. To determine its findings, Outside evaluated 300 counties in the United States across the following categories: overall well-being, percentage of public land, affordability, That's a big one. If you guys have watched my videos on this channel, you know that living in Cincinnati, affordability is huge. Climate change, inclusivity, population, and demographics. It only included towns with populations over 5,000 and under 500,000 on the list. So not like giant cities, I guess. The report cited Cincinnati's vibrant LGBTQ plus community, its lively arts scene, strong job market, reasonable cost of living, and its geography as the main reasons for the city's amicable vibe. So what do you guys think? Does Cincinnati have an amicable vibe? Yeah, I think so. It didn't list any other Ohio towns. So yeah, Cincinnati, no other Ohio towns. No cities in Kentucky were mentioned either. Though, to be fair, Northern Kentucky is basically like Cincinnati. So take that for what it's worth. It mentioned some places like the Underground Railroad bicycle route, the Little Miami Scenic Trail. Also listed the Little Miami River is great for kayaking. So I brought that up. Let's see here. Little Miami River is a great place to kayak, and it's a very chill, awesome, fun day. So if you're in the area and you've never done that, it's great. If you're thinking of moving here and you're like, what are some of the outdoor activities? The Little Miami and the bike trail right around it is pretty great. So if you're like a big outdoors person and you're like, where at in Cincinnati would I want to be? Then I would take a look at the Little Miami River and around Loveland, and Milford-ish, those kind of areas on the east side. If you kind of just follow the river, you can find some, or even going further north to like Monroe or Morrow, those kind of areas. All good ideas. So back to the article here. They'd also called Finley Market and Esoteric Brewing must-see places to visit in the area. And there's a lot of, to be fair, yes, Finley Market is awesome. It is. If you've never been to Finley Market, they just celebrated their 170th anniversary, which is amazing. It's the oldest continuously operated public market and one of Cincinnati's most cherished institutions, welcoming more than 1 million visitors each year. Finley Market is really, really awesome. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. In terms of Esoteric Brewing, I just did another video talking about how Cincinnati was top on one of the top beer cities in the nation. It was ranked #1, and that was a lot of it was for the amount of bars and breweries and affordability. So again, we go back to that affordability, and so I want to talk about that in terms of happiness. And this says, since he's not doing great in terms of its climate change initiative yet, and we are aiming to reduce our carbon emissions, the new solar project. So I guess we got worse grades for that. But in terms of being one of the happiest places to live in the United States, Cincinnati made the list in the top 15. So here's the article itself. Look how happy those people are. They're just jumping. They're in New Orleans, I think. I assume that's New Orleans. They're just so happy. Let me scroll down here to Cincy. And yeah, look at that. There's the Roebling. If you guys haven't seen or know what our logo is about, the Team Stanio logo is the Roebling Bridge because it's an awesome, beautiful bridge. But the bottom of the bridge is a dining room table. So if you never noticed that before, once you see it, you can't unsee it. But it's, our tagline is find your home. And so we want to be the bridge for you to help you find your home and strengthen your family. And I believe the dining room table is the symbol of a strong family where you're having meals together inside of the home. But here's, just one of many. This actually looks like from Smale Riverfront Park. It looks like they had a pop-up concert there. You're looking into Covington. This guy is super interested on his cell phone. So that's an interesting picture they took there. But that's, here's why. So the population, this is just the population of the city limits of Cincinnati. That's why part of the reason why we're on those lists, because greater Cincinnati metro is going to be around 2.25 million, I believe. The population of just the city limits is 309,000. Median home price of 272,000. Median rental price of 1,100 in Cincinnati. Percentage of parkland 17. I guess that means the amount of space at our parks by acreage, I would guess. Percentage of residents who live within a 10-minute walk of a park, 88%. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, parks are good for your health. Parks are going to make you happy. We got a picture of a park here, Smale Riverfront Park. I think I did a video, could probably use some updating, but I did a video of some of my favorite parks in Cincinnati. Smale Riverfront is definitely one of them. I love Washington Park in OTR. I love DeVue Park on the Kentucky side, and I'm in Fort Thomas, so Tower Park and Rossford Park are my local go-tos a lot of the times with the kids because it's easy. There's a park up in Blue Ash. I forget the name of it, but it is really awesome. There is a park, one of my right by my office here in Columbia, Tusculum, called Alms Park, which is really beautiful on top of a hill. You got some great views of the river. My favorite park in Cincinnati, probably just for the beauty, not so much for the kids, but for dates and the beauty of it, is Alt Park, AULT, and it is just gorgeous. So no question, Cincinnati is filled with an amazing park scene, and having a good park makes you happy, right? I get happy when I get to go to a park. Walk score of 49, bike score of 65, municipal equality index score of 100. So that's way to go. Demographics, 49% white, 40 black, 4% Latino, 2% Asian, 5% other. So that, again, that's within the Cincinnati metro. So we'll move on from here, but I just wanted to show you guys that and look at, let's see, I wanted to show you Findlay. Oh, I did want to mention this because I thought it was funny that this article also got picked up on Cleveland.com, which I thought was hilarious. That Cleveland's headline was that the Ohio city named among the happiest places to live is Cincinnati. So there are a lot of factors that go into making a city an ideal place to live. Affordable housing, climate, public safety, walkability, and amenities such as parks and restaurants are all part of the equation, to name a few. Nonetheless, it still can be challenging to determine where to plant your roots. I've got another video on the channel if you guys want to check that out. And I actually use that phrase. I say Cincinnati is a place where you can plant your family roots. It's a place where your roots can grow deep. It's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place to think multi-generationally. So this article is mentioning that. If you're seeking a location known for happiness, though, one Ohio city in particular stands out. Cincinnati, Ohio is one of the 15 happiest places to live in the U.S. I just thought that was funny that Cleveland, even though Cleveland beat the Bengals, they're the ones saying, hey, you should move to Cincinnati if you want to be happy. So I thought that was funny. So, yeah, I mean, Cincinnati, talking about, all the things that are going on in Cincinnati where you can plug in. You got FC Cincinnati. This is on the Visit Cincy. There's the Newport Aquarium. There is the Cincinnati Zoo, which is phenomenal. All the breweries. There's Rheingeist. There's Braxton. Don't know which that one is off the top of my head. You got the bourbon scene and the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. There's the Arc down in Williamstown, Kentucky. That was Mount Washington Park and Music Hall. There's a sweet drone shot and the Big Mac Bridge, and got Great American Ballpark, canoeing and kayaking. That's man, this is going a little fast. That statue there was Fountain Square in downtown Cincinnati. So a lot of things to do. This weekend was packed with things to do. Again, September is awesome, and there was I was super happy to have a date night with my wife on Saturday night, and so there were so many things to choose from. And in the fall, you've also got different pumpkin patches and harvest festivals and Oktoberfest. There's all kinds of things to do in the fall, which I love that about Cincinnati. So great place to be, great place to live. And obviously it is, one of the 15 happiest places to live. VK, looking forward to working with you. Currently speaking with a loan officer to get pre-approved. Heck yeah. I'm looking forward to that too. I love doing these lives again, because I get a chance to interact with you guys, get to share a little bit about the city. We're going to talk real estate in a little bit more. There's one other thing I wanted to chat about today. And VK, I'm pumped to get to working with you. So the pre-approval, that's huge. Once we get that, it's all systems go, and we'll shop. And tonight we're going to talk about the real estate market, what's going on in terms of days on market, what's going on in terms of interest rates. So we'll get into that in just a little bit. But VK, appreciate you hopping in here and saying hello. Can't wait to work with you as well. The other thing I wanted to mention, because I was talking to a couple people this week from California, from Southern California. which was a lot of fun. And they're thinking about relocating here. Both the couple that's kind of my age with kids and also their in-laws, and had a lot of great questions like, which side of the river? What about crime? What about safety? I'm trying to remember the conversation now of things they were particularly asking about, politics, taxes, basements, tornadoes. So I actually get that a lot, so I can answer that here. We get people from California in particular. It seems like, I don't know if there's like an ongoing, PR campaign going against Kentucky and Ohio about tornadoes, but seems like I asked that question a lot to people from California. Speaking of which, Aubrey is checking in from San Francisco. What's up? You're totally welcome. It's my honor to do this. So there's a lot of people thinking of moving here from California. We've helped a lot of people move here from California. So Aubrey, thanks for checking in. And one thing they often ask about, besides tornadoes, which I could talk about that in a second, is traffic. And, someone asked me like, hey, what's traffic like? I live in Southern California area. We're looking at maybe living up in Mason or, Loveland or East Side, or maybe down in Kentucky, like in Union or Independence or Alexandria. How fast can I get around town? And my general answer to people from California is like, hey, I've been to Southern California a little bit. I had some work jobs there in the past and visited there as a tourist. And I'm like, the traffic here is going to be laughable to you. That's the phrase that I use, compared to if you live anywhere near a, Southern California, LA, San Francisco, San Diego, something like that. I'm like, it's going to be a joke. Like, there are still a few times where traffic gets a little heavier, and that's going to be around rush hour times from, 7 to 8, that window, 7:30 to 8:30, kind of in there, and maybe like 4:30 to 5:30 in that range where it gets a little bit more. But basically, you're getting anywhere around town in 20, 25, 30 minutes. And you can get all the way on the other side of town in 45 minutes. So no matter where you're at, it's like pretty easy. And so I decided to pull this up. Yep. Oh, that's awesome. Yep. So VK said he moved here from Los Angeles a year ago. We moved here because I agree with you saying you can grow a family here. Small world. So awesome. I mean, that's one of my pitches here. Now, I am the family guy. I have like a lot of kids. I have 5 kids, but I think, Cincinnati is, I continue to kind of bang this drum, which is Cincinnati, in my opinion, is one of the best cities in America to raise your family, because it's like, and I mean this in an endearing way, and I mean this in an encouraging way. It's like average. Cincinnati is average, and it's like average weather, average affordability. You've got jobs, you average politically. There's like, look at basically any list except for being happiest. Apparently we're like in the top 15 for happiest cities in the world, but like, we're affordable. There's a lot of jobs, that you're going to get 4 seasons. And like politically, it's not too far one way or the other. You're going to find people on either side of the aisle if that matters to you. And it's a place where people will stay. And oftentimes, when you move here, you'll run into families who have been here for like hundreds of years, because they're like, yeah, we love it here. Like, I get to hang out with my grandkids, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal for me. I think that if there's a lot of people out there who are thinking of like, I want a place where I can raise a family, Cincinnati is great for that. Now, I will also say it's not just that. It's also, if you want to start a business here, the low costs are great. So if you're like on the tech scene, you're like, no, I want to do a startup, then Cincinnati is great for that. I also think if you're a young professional, it's great. You've got these big Fortune 500 companies of Fifth Third, P&G, Kroger, where you can get a great start, and you can launch that into a business of your own. So it's a great place for singles as well. Don't get me wrong. I just live in the world of 5 kids, marriage and 5 kids. So I'm thinking about that a lot. But I think for young families, it's definitely a great place. It's not just for young families, obviously singles, and retired. A lot of people moving here for retirement because of the cost of living as well. So, whoops, one second here. Let me get this back. So yeah, let me get back into this. Oh, what I wanted to mention was commute times. And so just before the show started here, thinking about this Happiest, I had a conversation with some folks from California. They were asking about traffic. I can't see this infographic, but I wanted to scroll down here. So this is average commute times by city. And so the worst cities for commute times, this is one-way traffic, is 36 minutes in New York, New Jersey, 35 minutes in Washington, D.C., 33 in San Francisco, Riverside, San Bernardino, 32 minutes. So you're going to see a lot of California, right? Stockton, Chicago's 32 minutes. I just came from there this weekend and traffic made me angry. Atlanta, a lot of traffic. Boston, I mean, everything you would expect, right? Baltimore, that's kind of terrible. 30 minutes. Seattle, 30 minutes. LA, 30 minutes. This actually shocks me that LA is lower, a little bit lower. I would have thought that would have been more, but maybe that's just, maybe you guys can tell me who are from California. That is Los Angeles, Long Beach different than like, yeah, I don't know my California areas too well, but that I'm actually a little surprised that's a little bit lower. Houston stinks, Philadelphia, Honolulu, Miami, Orlando, San Jose, Dallas, Denver, Nashville. So if you want to like pull your hair out, these are the city, and you know, if you could. Now I understand that we live in a post-COVID world, and there's a lot less, like a lot of people who are moving here that I'm talking to anyway. They're people who are working from home, and they can move here because they can take their job with them and work from home. And they're like, sweet, I'm out of here. I'm moving to Cincinnati where it's affordable and there's not traffic everywhere. And so this is commute times, but I think, you know, the point still stands that the traffic's going to be lower, whether it's your commute or you're just trying to get into downtown for a date or go see a concert or go to the museum or a park or a restaurant or whatever. So, so we're going to keep scrolling down the list here. Pittsburgh, Baton Rouge, Charlotte, Jacksonville, New Orleans, San Diego, St. Louis, Indianapolis is actually worse than us. And then here we go, Cincinnati. There we go, average on the list, right? How many are on this list? Yeah, perfect. Exactly. Look at this. I mean, proves my point completely. 100 cities on this list. Cincinnati coming in at 51. That's my city. Bam, right in the middle on every list. I love it. I'm telling you, every time I pull up a list like this, Cincinnati's like right there, right in the middle. 25 minutes to work. Average or median commute time. I think this is what this says. Let me see it. Average commute time one way. So let's just play that out. Okay. I'll play it out to New York. You know what? I won't play it out to New York. I'll play it out to, I'll give you a little break. And I'll go to San Francisco. So 33 minutes a day. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Hang on. Let's do some math. Let me see if I can stop screen, present, share screen, window. Okay. All right. Bear with me. All right. This is going to be fun. So, well, what did I say in Cincy? 25 minutes? 24.7 minutes. So I'm going to round up 25 minutes versus, let's go with San Francisco at 33 minutes. Okay. So 8 minutes one way a day. Again, you're probably working from home. You're watching YouTube, like, you know, 8 minutes one way. So times 2 equals 16 minutes a day. Okay. Times 5, 80 minutes a week. And let's call it 50 weeks a year. Right? So you're working 50 weeks a year. We're estimating 4,000 minutes a year. Let's divide that by 60 minutes. 66 hours a year extra just to drive to work. Okay. Let's divide that by a full, like a day. So it's like 8 days. 8 days in your car, an 8-hour day. That's a short day. Don't get me wrong. An 8-hour work day. Okay. Let's do 6. What did I say? Times 8, 66. So let's give it your full waking day of what? 16 hours. 4 days. You're losing 4 days a year just living in one of these cities. You're losing 4 days of your life sitting in traffic. Yeah. So Aubrey says I drive from San Fran to Silicon Valley, Palo Alto 4 times a week. It's probably 40 minutes one way and 110 the other. Yeah, like that is insane to me. Like, I mean, I assume maybe you're watching me on this drive, like hopefully at 2 times, because who doesn't watch podcasts on 2 times speeds now? But maybe you're Aubrey, you're watching me live, so I appreciate that. So that's 60, 70, 110 minutes 4 times a week. So that's, oh my gosh, 110 versus 50. So that's 60 minutes. That's an hour extra. That's 4 hours a day. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's, I'm going to do the math here. Am I doing this? 4 times 50 weeks, 200 hours divided by, let's do 16. You're losing 12 and a half days of your life just driving from San Fran to Silicon Valley. Ugh. I mean, that's a choice. Now look, I get it. And you guys tell me, like, Aubrey, what's your favorite thing about living in San Francisco, though? Because obviously you have things that we don't have here. You have an ocean. You have beautiful, you have mountains. You have, I don't know much about California. You have Napa Valley, right? And amazing vineyards. VK says the worst part about the traffic is there's no rush hour time. It's all day until 9 p.m. Oh, yeah. So VK, like, what is your experience, living here? And he says the 405 is a nightmare. No wonder people are so angry and they hate their neighbors. You're just sitting, like, getting cut off in traffic all day long by people and pulling your hair out and, like, breathing car fumes. Well, maybe less car fumes because there's more Teslas out in California than here, but some car fumes, and you're giving 12 and a half days of your life to it every year. So Aubrey said, San Francisco, it's such a beautiful city. There is so much to do, and the area is lovely. She loves Napa, but we're looking to move to Cincy. Yeah, and we're shocked at the lack of traffic when we visit. Yes. So this is what I'm trying to say is, like, you won't believe it. Like, it will be shockingly, maybe I need an adverb and an adjective. Shockingly laughable, right? At the lack of traffic that's here. That you can just, whenever you want, basically say, I'm going to go here, and you'll be there in 20 minutes, like 25 minutes, like wherever you want to go in town. The other nice thing, and let me give me 1 second here. I'm going to come off the calculator now. I think I've proven my point. Let me stop this and let me bring back up. Sorry, give me 1 second. This window here. Okay. The other thing I would say, beyond just traffic, Cincinnati, Ohio maps. And let me make this a little bigger for you guys. Is not only being able to get around town, when you're here, just around town, is where you are centrally located in the nation. And so, yes, we don't have Napa Valley. We don't have mountains. We don't have an ocean. However, there's a lot of great road trips nearby. Now, I'm not saying Cincinnati's not cool to hang out with, because there's something to do here every weekend. There's a lot of things that are cool here. Again, we were just named one of the 15 happiest cities to live in the U.S. But if you want to go up to Chicago, which I did last weekend to watch Hamilton with my 13-year-old son, 5 hours. Easy, done. Nashville, 4 hours. DC is like a 6 to 7 hour trip, I would say. Detroit, you can go to St. Louis. You can get to, a lot of people go to Myrtle Beach kind of this way if they want to go to ocean. A lot of people do the Panhandle in Florida if they want to do ocean. I'm making the trip down to Siesta Key in a couple weeks, and that's about a 14-hour drive. So that's a little rough, but I got 5 kids, 7 plane tickets is a little harsh on the wallet. But just because we are, if you look where it's at, even heading over to, like, Boston, Philly, New York, it's not very long to get there. If you want to go up to Toronto, or a great summer road trip is head up through Michigan, anywhere on the west for Lake Michigan, Traverse City, something like that, but also go up to Mackinac Island. Amazing up there. Okay, a few other comments here. VK said, I went to the BMV to get new tags. It took 25 minutes. In California, that same BMV trip would take 3 hours. So it's not just traffic, right? So public services as well. You just get a benefit of there's less people here. It's easier to get around. And but you still have, the common thing that people say about Cincinnati, why people are happy here. You have these big city amenities, but you have a small town feel. That's like the tagline, or that's a lot of people describe Cincinnati that way. It's like, oh, and you're still friendly with people. Like the other thing I'll say besides, time of traffic is like, well, I'll get to that 1 minute. Remind me to talk about fences, because there's like tornadoes, traffic, and fences. Bree's popping in here. Traffic has gotten way worse in the Phoenix metro area. People are angry for no reason. It's too hot, so we're all just racing back to the air conditioning. Yeah, that sounds right. Like, and I imagine, Bree, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, that a lot of people have been moving out of California to Phoenix. Is that right? It seems like from what I've heard, people have been moving to like Vegas and Utah and maybe Idaho and Phoenix, the people that have been moving out of California. And so maybe you're getting more people. I know a lot of people retire in the Phoenix area. And I assume that some people are moving out from California that way. But yeah, I'd be mad too if it was 120 degrees out and I was sitting in my car. It's just stressful. It's just, I mean, I personally, I don't know about you guys, but I'm interested in the self-driving cars. Not that I want my autonomy and freedom taken away. I don't. But I do want to like not have to be stressed out in a car. And that's here in Cincinnati. VK said gas is only $3.65 here. In LA, it's $7.20. Okay, so the reasons are stacking up. You guys are making the argument for me. You guys should be my you should be my sales team. You guys are making the case for me. So yeah, I filled up at 365. Actually, I filled up at 265 on the way here to this live tonight because I use my Kroger fuel points. Listen, guys, I have 5 kids. I know how to work the system, but I'm going to give you a little pro tip here to save money. Okay. If you live here in Cincinnati or if you have a Kroger near you, Kroger, get the Kroger card. They'll do 4 times fuel points. Do all of your online shopping with Amazon. So stack up on those Amazon gift cards when they roll around. You're getting that 1,000 fuel points, $1 off your fuel. I get it like every week. It's like a no-brainer. I'm saving like $1,500 a year just on fuel by doing this method. So that's free tip for you guys. That's a $1,500 tip for you. But if you move here to Cincinnati from LA, it sounds like you'll be saving way more than that. That's just my, I don't know. Some people will call it cheap. Other people will call it being frugal. Yeah, a lot of people moving from California to Phoenix, says Bree, and gas is around $5 there. Yeah, somebody, who was it? I connected with someone who was visiting here, I think from California, and they were just like, we were talking about their trip. We were looking at some new construction areas for them, I think out in Union and Alexandria, Kentucky. And they were just like, oh, we've had such a great weekend. Yeah, gas was like $3.65. And that like just like made their weekend. They were like, it was free. They're just like so happy that gas was so cheap. And they were talking about it being over $7 a gallon in California. And like, I remember that. What's weird here, people who have grown up here were still like, oh, it's so high. Because I remember that being a senior in high school. I'll date myself so you guys know how old I am. I graduated high school in 1999. So we're going to party like it's 1999. Of course, was our like senior picture, whatever thing. And gas, I remember one weekend gas hitting 65 cents a gallon. And all of my friends were like, what do you guys want to do? I don't know. Let's just go fill up our cars with gas and drive around. Like that was awesome. So, yes, I remember that. So VK says, we also love the parks here. The parks are filled with families. In California, the public parks attract bad people. That's a bummer. Yeah, the parks are awesome here. It's a good time. So and like I mentioned, if you're here, VK, which ones have you been to? I'm curious, but for me, I'll just give you guys a little bit of idea where these are at on the map. Alt Park over here on the east side is awesome. Julius, if you live over in Anderson, I love Anderson Township. I lived over there for a while. Beach Acres Park is great. This whole area is great for families. Some good parks out there. There's another one off of Forest Road. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's right here. Where are you? Veterans Park. Yep, that's a good one too. So I used to live over in that area. Here's Alt Park. I'll just bring this up. If you guys have ever seen, it's like, here, let me shrink myself down here. There's some great hiking. A lot of people get married, as you can imagine. This is in the winter. Let me see if I can find a summer picture of it. When the fountain's going, when everything's in bloom. You got these beautiful gardens that are kept up tremendously. So you've got these amazing. This is just a great place for a picnic. You've got kind of views of, that looks like a flood, and that looks like a really ugly picture, but you've got views of kind of like the Little Miami River coming down and Lunken Airport. These pictures aren't doing it justice quite, but it's beautiful. I love this place. So Eden Park, that's another great one. So this is closer to downtown, and you're overlooking the Ohio River. You've got some great lakes. The art museum is right there at Eden Park. You've got, I think this is called Mirror Lake, if I'm remembering that right. These beautiful gazebos, views of the Ohio River. So this is from Ohio looking into Kentucky. This is probably Bellevue and Dayton, Kentucky, right over here. This is Fort Thomas up here on this hill. Yeah, I mean, just gorgeous. So this is springtime. This is typical. This looks like April to me, or May, right there. May weather, and it's really fun and exciting. So if you live in somewhere like Phoenix or Dallas or even Southern California, and you don't get the seasons, it's one of my favorite things about living here is that, yeah, winter's not like super fun with the snow, but we don't get a ton. We get like 25 inches on average a year, so it's usually breaks down to like, it's like 4 to 6 snowfalls of like 1 to 3 inches, and then maybe 1 to 3 times a year we'll get 6 inches or more. That's kind of like the snow, and even that is fun because you get out there, put some boots on and a coat, and crunch around in the snow and go sledding with the kids. We love Woodland Mountain. Yes, Sharon Woods. Those are both great. Woodland Mountain's awesome. It's huge. It's on the east side, kind of over by New Richmond. Awesome Frisbee golf park for that. I used to play a lot down there. Sharon Woods, also amazing. Great trails, kind of on the north up by Blue Ash area, right on the 275 loop. So many good parks. And the park system in Cincinnati as a whole just is fantastic. Bellevue Park views are amazing. Yeah, really anything. The great thing about one of the great things about living in Northern Kentucky is we get all the great views of downtown Cincinnati and like the river and the city. And so you get some awesome views down in Bellevue, Kentucky for sure. All right. How far in are we? We're 38 minutes in and we haven't talked real estate. You guys just got me talking about being happy and parks and gas. Oh, fences. I want to talk about that real quick. So while I'm mentioning it, people from California are always like, am I going to get killed by a tornado? Is there any traffic? And can I put up a fence? And what you will see, let me see if I can pull up some houses here. Okay, so we'll get back to the market, but let me just kind of scroll through a typical house. Let's see if I can pull the backyard up here. So this is over in Anderson Township on the east side. This is maybe a bad example because I see a fence. Sorry, I'm getting used to this MLS. This is still new for me. Oh, I can't see all of them. Can I see all of them at once? Sorry. No, I can't. I have to scroll. Let's see if I can go backwards because I want to see the yard. Okay, this is good. What you'll tend to see in the backyard is you'll see some fences, especially with people with pets. But this is for you people in California. We don't have a lot of privacy fences. Okay, so when you get here, don't freak out when you look around and you're like, where are all the fences? We don't have a lot of privacy fences. You can get them. Okay, if you have to have a privacy fence, you can get them, but you probably have to buy in an older neighborhood that doesn't have a homeowner association, or has one that allows them. So most HOAs that allow fences, and most of them do allow fences, but they're going to allow 3.5 fences, and they gotta match like the neighborhood. So they're they can't be like ugly silver chain link fence or something like that. There might be split rail. There's different ones you can do, but we don't have a lot of 6-foot high privacy fences. And I say this all the time. The reason why is we like each other. I know that's a weird concept, but in general, people in Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky like each other, and we talk to our neighbors. And we might, when a baby is born, we set up a meal train, and we go give people meals when a baby is born. And when someone's sick, we give them meals. And when a kid is selling something for a fundraiser from his school, we buy the thing. And like when one house on the street gets a trampoline, the whole street gets a trampoline. Like, not entirely. Like, if you want a fence, you can have a fence. Don't get me wrong. You can still fence off. But the point I'm trying to make is like, you're not going to see a lot of privacy fences. We talk to our neighbors. You don't have to do that. Okay. If you just want to go in your house and pull in your garage and never talk to anyone, you can do that. Okay. You can live your sad life here in Cincinnati and not talk to people and not be neighborly. Or you could live in one of the 15 happiest places in the world where we are not always on our screens, and we're still on our screens. It's still a problem. Don't get me wrong. But we do things. We talk to people. We hang out with our neighbors. We get face to face. We have a good time. We treat each other with civility. We can be open to arguments on whatever side of the political spectrum you're on. And it's a pretty freaking good city to live in. Okay. Real estate wise. So just real quick, see if you guys can see this. Okay. So here's what's happened in the last 30 days. If you guys can see this up here in the market watch, in the last 30 days, there's been 2,888 houses listed. 2,399 of those are in contract. So again, we're still in low inventory market. We're still in a seller's market. Things haven't flipped. 1,500 homes has closed, but 1,900 of those have seen a price drop. Now, I've said this to many people on the phone. I'm going to tell it to you guys where we're at seasonality wise. And this is a typical year when you get into like August and September. Is typically prices go up, from starting in February or March, April, May, June, July, August, and they kind of hit their peak in late July, August. And the people who list their houses in August and September, oftentimes they've seen that run up of prices. And what they realize, what happens is people are getting back into school. And so there's usually less shoppers in late summer, early fall for about a month or two. And prices kind of hit. And then also sellers have kind of overshot the price because they've seen prices go up so high. So there's usually a little bit of a pullback. So we've seen a lot of price drops, and we typically do this time of year. Now we're not seeing, so let me go back to 7 days here. So in the last 7 days, we've seen 520 listed, 509. And so again, inventory is really tight. You're not getting a lot of new like inventory hanging out there. If something is still priced right, it's still going pretty quick. It still can go in multiple offers. But for the ones that are overpriced, you're going to see some price drops. And that's if you're looking to buy anytime, in the near future, from now, even up through the fall and winter, you want to potentially look at those houses that have some price drops. So I want to show you guys just a few areas. So I mentioned Anderson Township, which is, let's see if I can do this here. Forest Hills School District. Okay, so this is, can you guys see this outlined in red? This is on the east side of town. Forest Hill School District includes Newtown. This is Anderson Township. It's in Hamilton County. So it's in the city of, most of it's in the city of Cincinnati. It's within the I-275 loop. One reason I really like living on this side of town, and I lived here for about 8 years, is you've got multiple ways into the city. So you can pop out here to Interstate 275 and then hit 471 downtown, or you can hop on down to 52 and 50, either one, where depending on where you're coming from, and take those into downtown. So you've got great access. So you know, in terms of traffic, and we've already talked about the low traffic, but you've always got kind of an alternative route to get out there. Very family friendly, great schools, good parks. So here's what's going on out there. And just to show you guys a little bit about these properties themselves. And here's what they look like. A lot of homes are built in like the 70s and 80s. Then you got a few like giant mansions out there. But most of the homes, you'll see a lot of homes in the $300,000 to like $500,000 range. Some of these that are higher, like 800 and up, they're new construction homes. And so, but you'll see a lot of homes in Anderson Township in the $300,000 to $500,000 range. Okay. Is where you're getting in at. And I want to show you, change it to this. What I wanted to show you guys is, if you can see this, this is sorted, I believe. No, it's not. How do I sort? Days on market. That's what I want. Okay. So there's out of the 44 listings that are active on the market in Anderson Township, where it's a Sunday night. So potentially these that just listed a couple of days ago, and that's typically what you'll do if you're listing a house, is listed on Thursday or Friday. And in Cincinnati, what you can do is a coming soon before that to get some marketing activity. Because what you want to do if you're a seller is you want those offers on the first weekend. You don't want to go beyond that, especially in the market we're in right now, because as I mentioned, if you're sitting on the market longer, that's when buyers, like I'm telling you to do, are going to come in at a lower price, come in at list price or below, and try to knock them off of that price. So if you're a seller, you don't want to do that, right? You want to get it sold the first weekend. And so you're going to put it out there on Thursday or Friday because you can get the most people to come to see the house right then. So you've got, out of 44 listings, you've only got 3 that are still active in Anderson Township that have been on the market this weekend. And it's possible that these are getting offers right now. I would imagine, you know, again, this price range, like I said, $475 and $499, 4-bedroom homes, 2,500 square feet. This one's actually 2,800, but there's a finished basement, so they added 1,000 onto that. 4-bed, 2 full bath, 1 half or 2 half bath, 4 days on the market for around $475, $499. Good chance these would be getting offers. Now, if you scroll down here, you can see right here, this one has been on the market 10 days. So it's in its second weekend. So 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a handful, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or so that have been out there just 2 weeks. Muskegon. So these homes, and you can see the price range on these. These are $300 to $360. So these homes are a little bit older. I'm going to this one on Muskegon, because you'll see there's a handful of neighborhoods here in Anderson Township that look like this home. Trying to get sorry, I'm still learning this MLS. So they're asking 360,000. It's a 4-bedroom, 2 full, 1 half bath. So the way this works is there's a little entry room right here. There's a dining room behind it. There's a kitchen right there. There's a little living room right here. Your master bedroom's right here. Then you got 3 more bedrooms up here, a hall bath, probably a full bath in the master, and then you've got a basement. Okay, I've been in this house a bazillion times. Not this one in particular, but you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out the age of this home here. 30 years. That's not what I want. Sorry. We got a new MLS, and I'm getting used to it. I don't see the year built. My guess is this was built in like 1982. Okay. So you'll see a handful of these homes. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so there's your stairs upstairs. There's that front room I mentioned. There's the dining room I mentioned. That's right behind it. There's the going into the kitchen right off to the side. There's your little living room. So the kitchen's back here. You got a walkout, nice, into the backyard. Looks like a little deck back there. So there's your family room. It's not huge, but again, this house is for $360,000. Looks like they put down some hardwood flooring, which is nice, and some built-in shelves. You got a nice covered patio back there. I like that. There's your kitchen. So anyway, if I'm boring you guys, just tell me. But if you have questions, please ask questions, because you got an experienced real estate agent. Okay, so granite counters. Looks like they redid this kitchen, but the appliances are still older. You got those white appliances. This door right here goes down in the basement. There's the door for the cat. Can you guys see that right there? Which means they have a cat, or someone had a cat in the house. This is a little pantry right here. There might be a hall bath right there, or a linen closet. Oh, there it is, the hall bath. Here's your master on the second level. Doesn't look like there is a, oh no, there it is. There's the master bathroom. So you walk in, it's a bedroom. You got a little dressing area. You got a closet that's for he. There, it's not two separate closets, but you got a little makeup area kind of for the missus. There's your bathroom. There's room 2 on the second floor. There's room 3 on the second floor. There's room 4 on the second floor. So usually you might see if someone's working from home, they'll make that smaller bedroom the at-home office. And then here's your hall bath upstairs for the kids. And then here comes the basement. I miss it. Patio first. That's a pretty nice patio. That's actually a 3-season room. It's not just a patio. So you got a fan screened in, and you can get a lot of use out of that room. Nice flat backyard. It's a great house. I love those pine trees. Those are great. So they're not showing the basement because the basement's unfinished. That's why they don't have pictures of it. So you got an unfinished basement and $360,000. So a few questions here. VK asks, are there first-time buyer down payment programs? Talk to the lender I sent you, VK. I don't think they do a lot of first-time down payment programs anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. Down payment, yes. But first-time buyer, there's not like a lot of incentives like there used to be after the Great Recession. But down payment programs, you can find some things there. Yeah, make sure to talk to the lender on that. What areas can we find homes around $250K max range and family-friendly like Sharonville? That's a great question. Let's take a look. Off the top of my head, 250 max range. And family-friendly. I'm thinking potentially Golf Manor. Let's look for it. Let's look for it together. I'm thinking Golf Manor, Silverton area, which is like a really central part of town, which is really nice. I was showing some homes in Mason here, but we don't need to show Mason. Let's show 250. And we can come back to this. So take off Mason. And again, bear with me. How do I do the price? Oh, here it is. Okay, 250. And let's do 3-bedroom plus. Okay. I mean, so there's a lot of areas. St. Clair, Turtle. Okay, so here, let me go to the map. Okay, so this is an area that could work. This is Williamsburg area, Amelia. You can find some stuff out there. I think that's a family-friendly area. Good parks out there. You're just east of Anderson Township. So, if you look at Union Township here, yeah, You're getting 3-bed, 2-bath. You can see a lot of these bi-levels with ranches. So there's some options there. I like that side of town, Withensville, Mount Carmel area. So that's one option. How do I go back? There we go. Okay. Let me see if the one I mentioned. So I said Golf Manor. There's two. Golf Manor is pretty small, I guess. Yeah, it's hard when you're this close into the city. But it's there. I mean, so if you're getting closer to downtown, the space is gonna the homes are gonna be a little bit smaller. So these two, how do I get these? There we go. 250, 3-bedroom, 1-bath. Let's take a look at this house. And this looks like, yeah, this is exactly what I thought it'd be. It's a flip where they put in some new flooring, paint throughout. Nice new kitchen. My guess is this basement might be a little musty. Like everything else is nice. Oh, wait a second. That's not bad looking at this, honestly. When you see carpet in the basement, sometimes that can be you might be like, oh, but what I'm looking for in these basements is I'm looking for any water intrusion and signs of water intrusion. They're going to paint everything, so it's going to look pretty good, but you want to see, okay, is that paint holding up? Like right here. So you can see here, this is where water's getting in and could again. But that's the utility room in the basement. So like not a huge deal. There's drains down there. In an older home, you're going to find something like that. There's a garage underneath. If you have a small car, you can get in these garages. But again, these homes are a little older, so they're not huge. This is 1,600 square feet, 1,700, 3-bedroom, 1 full bath. How do I find the... I will figure out how to find the age of these homes, guys. I swear. I gotta get used to this new MLS. Okay. Okay. So there's an option in Golf Manor. My other thought is like, once you get outside, I'm trying to think where else for 250. So you can see there's pockets all around where there's a couple of these houses. I like this east side of town for being family friendly. Batavia as well. Tate Township, so down by East Fork, if you want a little space. It gets a little bit more country as you head out east here. But these are some good options. Let me look at this Union Township. Did we already looked at these? Whoops. Sorry if I'm making you guys dizzy. I was trying to look out by like Mount Orab. That was another thought, which is a little bit further out, or maybe even New Richmond. Laurel, New Richmond doesn't have any right now. Okay. Pierce Township. Yeah, so here's some other options. Let's look at this one. Again, this is a newer bi-level. I would imagine this was built in like 2002 would be my guess. When I say bi-level, maybe you know it as like a split level. And so what it means is you walk in this front door and there's like half stairs going up and half stairs going down. And so typically you have 2 or 3 bedrooms up here, and you have your living room and your kitchen and like little dining area. Then you might have like one larger rec room in the basement and your garage. But this is a great little home. 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath for 250. There's your kitchen. Like I said, here's the stairs coming off that front door, and the other stairs go down the other way. Here's kind of your living area. Looks like they open it up. A lot of times there's like a little half wall right here, which is a little annoying. So I kind of like it that it's opened up. That's a bedroom. So, okay. These photos, someone's standing on a ladder, I guess. And like, they're not doing themselves any favors with the photos. So your laundry room's in the basement. That's odd. Oftentimes it's in a closet right in the middle there. Oh, look at that. Nice deck. Wow. Look at that garden. Oh, with the greenhouse and the chicken coop. This is, I want my kids to live here. This is awesome. Wow. That's a lot for, I mean, that's if you like to garden, obviously, but that looks like a little sustainable homestead right there. Backyard features a large garden area with multiple storage sheds, electric 2-car garage with dog kennel. That's great. So yeah, there's some options. Sorry, you guys got me looking at houses and I got all excited. So what's up, RMAC? Tactical. All is well. Good to see you. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, you like Northern Kentucky as well. Yeah, I don't have that MLS up right now. Here, let me just, probably the quickest way to do it is Zillow. If I were to think of, because I love, yeah, you got a lot of good options in Northern Kentucky for 250. Let me do, let me think off the top of my head. I would guess Independence. You could find something. I would also guess Florence in some pockets as well. Let me reset this price 250, and let's narrow this down actually. Do like 200, and let's do 3-bedroom in, and let's remove the boundary. Okay, so yeah, Florence, Erlanger, you're gonna find some stuff. 3-bed, 1-bedroom ranch, 1,400 square feet, built in 1961. Great little house. Yeah, this is a good area. Florence, Erlanger, Burlington's also a good area for families. It's hard to go wrong anywhere out here for families in Northern Kentucky. Got some options in Covington if you want more, like a little bit more of an urban feel. Latonia, you're gonna get these older homes that, again, built in 1919, so the flow of the home is a little bit different than a newer home, but you can, $200,000 for 1,200 square feet, and they just cut the price. So there's some options in Covington, but if you want more family friendly, I would probably steer you. I don't know if there's anything in Alexandria this way. Florence, Burlington, even out here in Hebron would be great. 245. There's another. That's that same house I just mentioned. So you're going to see a lot of houses in that 200 to 250 price range, maybe even up to 300, but mostly that 250 price range. These buy levels, split levels. And this one, look, all the work's been done. Everything's updated there. Now that yard's doesn't have the garden. You got a little slope to the yard, but still great. Hebron's a great area. Good schools, good parks, family friendly for sure. Let's see what we've got in Florence. Did I already show you this one? Yeah, Florence can be an option too, for sure. So hope that helps. Cool. All right. So there's the market. I wanted to show, let me pop back real quick. And do this filter, Pierce. I'm going to do Mason. Just because I know a lot of you guys are looking for, like when you call me, you're like, what's up with Mason? I want to show you what's active right now. Did I put a price on this? No. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So what do we got in Mason right now? 34 active homes. I wanted to go back to that days on market conversation I was having. And so you are at, I mentioned in Anderson, there was 3 homes that were the days on market were, under a week. So here in Mason, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically 5. Looks like these were listed midweek, 6, 7, if you want to count those. Okay. So Mason, the reason why so many people like Mason are looking there, it is a great city to live. You're right by Kings Island, great schools. The city's designed really well. I mean, if you want that like crisp, clean suburb feel, Mason's a great spot for it. Homes are generally going to be like 500 and up. If you're under 500, you might be. This is probably a condo, is my guess. Um, very yeah. So the condo's 319,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2 full bath condo. Um, Let me pull in. No, I'll just leave the condos in there. So this 34 listings is including single family and condos. And my point is, a lot of them are again less than a week. Now, those that are beyond a week, this one on Charleston Valley, 575, 4-bedroom, 2 full bath, built in 97, 10 days on the market. I'm telling you, these are the sellers. Excuse me. When they get 10 days, or at least when they get 2 weeks plus, because here's what you're going to start to see. You get 2 weeks plus, and you're going to start to see some price drops on these houses. I sold a home on a Heritage Point earlier this year. Um, so, as I scroll down here, now some of these are new construction, so you're not seeing price drops on that. But you're seeing 25 days on market, there's a price drop, right? This must be new construction as well, maybe. But that 1.2 million, I don't know why it doesn't show days on market on that one. New construction, you're typically you won't see a price drop. In fact, here's a price hike on new construction because when they're trying to sell an entire neighborhood, um, they don't want to drop the price. Now they might give you incentives in terms of if you go with their lender, they can give you, because if they're controlling the home and the lending, they've got room there, and they want to keep that price solid on a new construction home because they want to sell future homes in that neighborhood. So oftentimes you won't see a price drop. Now where you will see that, in fact, I just helped some sellers do that, is if the home is complete and it's a market home. I just helped some clients buy a Dries home up in up near the Lebanon area, I think. It was north side of town, and that home was like, when builders get antsy, that's when you might be able to get a little bit off the price. We didn't get a ton. We got like 5 or 10 knocked off the price, but we also got some incentives on their lending. So we went with their lender, their in-house lender, and I think they saved another 10 or 15 grand. I want to say, or maybe it was like a couple of points or both on the lending, which was great. Um, so that's a place where you can, if you're thinking new construction, basically when sellers start to get a little bit antsy, right? And that's where you can get a little smidgen of a deal, right? Rick, appreciate that. My kind of show tonight. Tuning in from Albania, moving to this week to Cincinnati. That's amazing, Amber. Albania. Here's what I know about Albania. Not much, but I know that it borders on the Adriatic Sea, and your chief export is chrome. Is that correct? Uh, that might not be correct at all, but I remember my geography class from 9th grade, which was 1996, and I remember a song that we sang, Albania, Albania, you border on the Adriatic. I forget what the capital is, but I remember your chief export was chrome. If that's right, then guys, I should win a prize. Albania chief export. Crude petroleum. But did you see that? Did Google just hear what I said? At the more granular forged iron ferroid alloys. That counts, right? Uh, I don't. Google Albania chief. Did it just hear what I was saying? Did you guys see that? This is from a Cheers. This is from Cheers. Oh, my mind is just blown. James Cunningham. He was a classmate of mine, and he sang a song. I thought the teacher sang that song. I think he got it from the TV show Cheers. My mind is blown. I'm sorry I'm bringing you guys through this. Northern the Adriatic. This is crazy. You got it from Cheers. Your chief expertise. Okay, that's hilarious. I can't believe I remember that, but he's right. You do remember things in songs. That's why I teach my kids songs in homeschool. Amber, Amber says it's not Chrome. The chief export are its people. Well, hey, that's amazing. That's amazing and sad. I don't know. It's amazing for us. Welcome to Cincinnati. You're moving this week. What part of town are you moving? Are you renting? Can I help you out? Can't wait to have you here. I hope the good people of Albania are doing wonderful. And thanks for tuning in and saying hello. What's bringing you here? That's amazing. Okay, guys, I'm going long tonight. I don't know. I'm being a little goofy tonight. Bengals. Let's talk Bengals just for a second. The Ravens lost today. Cheers to that. So Joe Burrow, I don't think he should play. I hope he doesn't play. I think we're going to go to 0-3. I think that's what it is. But you got to protect the franchise, right? Am I right? You got to protect the franchise. You got to sit him down, even though obviously he wants to play. Jamar was right. He should have sat down. Now it's kind of worst case. It's not worst case yet. It's like medium bad case. So if you're a Bengals fan, I recommend you do what I'm doing, which is resetting all of my Bengals expectations on the year. And I'm not going to let a bunch of 20-year-olds and what they do dictate my emotional state for the next 6 months. I'm going to enjoy them when it's enjoyable. And when it's not enjoyable, I'm going to enjoy other things. Because you know what? We're going to bring it back full circle. Cincinnati is one of the 15 happiest cities in the United States. So there you go. How about that? That's bringing it all together. Is there any new update on the Amtrak being built from Cincinnati to Cleveland? We looked that up and liked the idea of traveling through Ohio via train like California. I've seen some things on that, but I don't know off the top of my head. So I'll try to put that maybe on a show going forward. It would be cool to have some rail going forward. I wouldn't mind that one bit. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope that gives you a little bit of a feel of what's going on in the market. Boil that down again. Still a seller's market, but there's some opportunities right now for buyers. If you are, we might talk about this next week, or I might do a video on it. If you are looking to sell in the area, make sure you're working with an experienced agent, because times are getting a little bit crazy. And if you put it on a flat fee or working with an agent that hasn't sold a lot of homes, I caution you, you might A, not get it sold, B, not get it sold for what you want, and go through a lot of hassle and stress along the way. So guys, thank you for tuning in. All of you who are still watching, I love having you join in. Appreciate you. Be sure to like the video if you haven't done that yet. Subscribe to the channel. Be a part of the clan, yo. Bengals, I don't know what the deal is next week when they play. So we'll figure out when this show will go. But since we had a Monday night game here and the live didn't destroy it for me, we're on. So Houday, have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you next time.